the physicals out, but I'll talk about it some more after. Hi, Adrianne.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are
I'm,
you?
I'm good, thank you. If you introduce yourself, so let us know a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, my name's Adrianne and I'm based in Reading and I'm chapter lead of BYP Reading. So it's part of the BYP network and we are different chapters within England and Wales and Scotland and also globally that are part of the BYP network. And we bring Black professionals together to network and develop.
How did you get into working with BYP?
So I came to work with BYP because I applied to be a chapter leader. Initially, I was a member, so I've been a member for 5 years, but I decided to apply for that role because they were looking for a chapter lead for Reading, so they launched in Reading. And
What, sorry, what is a chapter lead? Because I'm actually not quite sure.
oh, okay. So a chapter lead is someone that essentially runs a group, whether it's in Reading or it could be in London or Birmingham, Liverpool, in different cities around the country and in different countries as well, that really talks about developing Black professionals, connecting them with employers and each other to network. So it's part of the BYP network.
That makes sense. So in terms of I don't know if I should direct the question towards you and the work that you're doing with BYP, or if you want to speak about BYP overall. And we have a question. Someone said, is BYP for entrepreneurs or people growing careers?
Oh, it's for both. So it's for entrepreneurs as well as people that are either starting or mid-career. So it's a range of people really. So the minimum age is 18 and there's no maximum.
So obviously I was saying that I attended the mentorship workshop last Monday. Do you
Yeah.
guys do events like that regularly, and what can people expect?
Yeah, so they're monthly events, so either online or face to face, where you can meet other professionals, either in your area or outside. I know you're not based in Reading, but you're welcome to come. I have had events previously where I've had someone from New York and it was online, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, but it was good because we ended up kind of chatting and having a good conversation. So, and the members of the actual webinar actually ended up networking and connecting, so that was good.
That sounds amazing. Why, in terms of you personally, why do you feel like this work is important?
Um, the work's important because I feel that a lot of times when you're in a company, you could be like maybe one or two or a handful of people, and you may feel a bit isolated. So it's good that you can meet people in your industry or others that could help you along the way and kind of give you advice, or you can collaborate if you're running a business or you're thinking of starting one. So it's a good way to meet other people in your field or other fields you may be interested in. So it's just a good way of connecting with people and networking.
That makes sense. I didn't actually know, but I'm gonna join the BYP network because I've been thinking that's kind of what I'm trying to do with Embrace, but I guess here it's about having the discussion to inspire people about our journeys rather than the actual networking and being able to create those opportunities amongst ourselves. In terms of trailblazing, what would you specifically highlight is unique about BYP?
I think it's unique because it's global, because we've got chapters in African countries, in America,
Yeah.
Europe, UK. So it's a very global network of professionals and entrepreneurs versus like other organisations that are quite national, I suppose. It might be just maybe in America or here or Europe. So that's good. It's good to know that you've got the potential to meet other people. Usually it's online, unless you want to travel to like the different chapters in different countries, you could do that. But yeah, so it's a good opportunity to meet others. Again, maybe similar to you in terms of career or business, or they could be different, so you can learn from each other.
That makes sense. And in terms of trailblazing and uniqueness, how would you resonate as a trailblazer yourself?
Well, I think I would say I do a lot outside of being BYP chapter lead. So I work full time, I have a son. I'm also quite keen to, I suppose, connect others and support others where I can. So I do that a lot. So I do networking individually myself outside of being BYP chapter lead. I'm in the process of researching and writing a book about my grandmother. So that'll be the first book that I'm writing. So I'm doing quite a lot.
Can I know a little bit more about your book, about your grandma?
Yeah. So in essence, it's a book about her leaving where she lived initially, or where she was born, Barbados, and coming to initially Maidenhead and then Reading, where I live now, to be a nurse. So she trained in Maidenhead at a hospital called St Mark's, and then she came to Reading and worked at the local hospitals here. So there were two. So it was Royal Berkshire Hospital and Battle Hospital, and she worked in the NHS for 10 years. So it's about her, I suppose, journey from a small island in the sense that it's tiny, because geographically and population-wise, coming to the UK to be a nurse, what it was like in the NHS at that time, because it was very different. There were less people. The care was different. It was more person-centered care versus now it's like huge, isn't it? And in terms of the amount of people that's employed by the NHS and the amount of patients that they look after. So it was very different when she was working.
That makes sense. My next question, it doesn't sound weird, but it's just the way in which I formulate it maybe. But what made you want to write about her journey, and what do you want people to take from it?
I would say the reason that I want to write about it is because I don't think it's really documented as much as it should be in terms of the influence and impact of nurses that came from the Caribbean to work in the NHS. So this is post-war, when it was when the NHS was created. So that's why I think I want to write it as well, and just to show that my gran was quite an independent woman and had to be quite resilient because she was leaving a country that she knew very well, one that she hadn't visited before, on her own, and she was relatively young. So yeah, it's a big thing to do. Anyway, yeah, it's huge, massive.
I feel like it's really powerful because, again, it's something that's not that told, where a lot of us know people came over, whether it was through Windrush, whether it was for the NHS and all of those things, but we don't speak about the impact that they have and how much they actually gave. Especially now, my grandma works for the NHS, both of my grandmas did. And what my grandma said was that they keep on bringing younger nurses in so that they don't have to pay like the experienced staff more.
Yeah.
And it felt like they wasn't being appreciated. And so even though your grandma's not my grandma, I feel like you speaking about yours speaks about all of our grandmas and aunties and mums who worked in the NHS so much. Because it was more than just a job, it was actually saving lives and helping people, and that isn't always celebrated. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's interesting research. I'm doing research and writing at the same time, so it's interesting.
It makes sense. Is there anything else that you wanted to share specifically about BYP or your own work?
Okay. Well, annually they have a careers fest and leadership conference. This year it was together in September. So that was at the Business Design Centre, and that's an annual event. And also they have a conference in America. So this year is Chicago and New York, and that'll happen annually as well. And the next event for BYP Reading's on the 12th of December. So, and it's online, so very welcome to join.
Perfect. The replay for this should go out by then, so I'll put the details for the event there as well. And thank you very much. Stella said, it's so important to look at our personal stories as a way of recording our histories for future generations to get a real insight into those times. And I completely agree, because again, it's like the trickle-down effect. When we start looking back at the real stories of how we came over here and the impact that we did have, we start to value ourselves more and realize that we are worth more and that we do contribute and we do mean something, as much as sometimes maybe we don't feel it or we don't get that respect that is due. And then it also makes us look at our own journey and look at, okay, so what am I doing? Because obviously the three of us that are having this conversation and most of the people who are here aren't who I'm referring to, but there's a lot of people who are not appreciative of the sacrifices that were made, of the journeys that did happen, and are so focused on maybe a Western standard of what life is supposed to be like. So again, I was just speaking to Yinka, and a lot of things to do with like running businesses or even growing professionally is just about wealth. And it's not that we've never been wealthy. We've always had a bank of wealth. It's just that it wasn't accessible to us through monetary gains because of certain things in place. And it's just for us to know our power and what we deserve even still. So yeah, thank you. It was really great to speak to you, Adrianne.
Yeah, you too.
And I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, so I was actually watching the Yinkers. Yeah, so that was good as well. So I enjoyed that. So I'll carry on watching.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
We are what, 4 hours in?
I know.
And it's not going.
Oh, wow.
We've got 8
Yeah,
hours.
good luck. Yeah, you're doing well.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Bye, Adrianne.
Thanks. Bye. Bye. Bye.